Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that the language you fear is not your weakness but your unfinished strength? What if English is not hard, not impossible, not reserved for the gifted, but simply waiting for your decision? You are not late. You are not incapable. You are just standing at the edge of a version of yourself that speaks with confidence, clarity, and courage. And 1 month from now, that version can be real if you choose discipline over doubt, action over excuses, and belief over fear. Fluency is not about perfect grammar or an accent borrowed from somewhere else. Fluency is the courage to speak even when your voice shakes, the consistency to practice when motivation disappears, and the patience to grow one sentence at a time. Language is not learned by watching others speak. It is earned by showing up daily, imperfect, and determined. In 1 month, you will not become someone else. You will become more of who you already are. Finally heard, this journey is not magic. It is a system step by step, day by day. Small actions repeated with faith. English will not change your life on its own, but the confidence it builds will. And confidence once awakened changes everything. Decide before you begin. Everything begins with a decision that is not rushed, not emotional, and not influenced by temporary excitement, but rooted deeply in self-awareness and responsibility. Most people believe learning English is about intelligence, background, or talent. Yet, the real struggle lies in hesitation and half-commitment. When the decision is weak, the effort becomes inconsistent, and inconsistency slowly poisons belief. A strong decision removes the option of quitting. And when quitting is removed, the mind stops negotiating with fear and starts cooperating with purpose. This internal shift is silent but powerful because clarity is louder than motivation. A true decision understands discomfort before it arrives. It accepts that progress will feel slow, repetitive, and invisible. In the beginning, you decide knowing there will be days when pronunciation feels difficult, words do not come easily, and confidence feels far away. Yet you move forward anyway, because your decision is not based on feelings but on direction. This kind of decision stabilizes you when emotions fluctuate, reminding you that growth is not dramatic. It is gradual, and gradual growth still transforms identity. Many people wait for confidence before committing, believing confidence is a requirement. But confidence is actually a consequence. When you decide first, courage begins to form through repeated exposure and action. Fear does not disappear instantly, but it loses authority over your choices. You stop asking whether you are capable and start focusing on what needs improvement today. This shift moves your attention from self-doubt to self-development. And the moment focus changes, progress accelerates naturally. This decision reshapes how you see yourself. You stop identifying as someone who wishes to speak English and begin identifying as someone who is already in the process of becoming fluent. Identity influences behavior. Behavior strengthens habits. And habits build skill over time. When learning English becomes part of who you are rather than something you try occasionally, discipline forms without resistance. Effort becomes natural and progress continues quietly beneath the surface. Build daily contact, not occasional effort. Language is not learned through dramatic effort made once in a while. It is learned through quiet contact that happens every single day. When English enters your life daily, even for a short period, your brain slowly stops treating it as something foreign or threatening. Daily contact reduces resistance because repetition creates familiarity, and familiarity creates safety. The mind learns best when it feels safe, not pressured. And daily exposure provides that safety by normalizing the language instead of turning it into an event. Many people exhaust themselves with occasional long study sessions and then disappear for days expecting progress to continue automatically. But the brain does not work that way. Gaps break momentum and rebuild fear. Daily contact keeps the language alive in your thoughts, sounds, and awareness. Even small daily interactions strengthen neural pathways, making understanding easier and recall faster without requiring extreme effort. Fear grows when distance grows. The longer you stay away from English, the heavier it feels to return. Daily contact prevents fear from growing because it never allows distance to form. Words begin to sound familiar. Sentence structures stop feeling strange, and your mind slowly starts recognizing patterns without conscious effort. This gradual familiarity creates confidence quietly without forcing it. When English becomes part of your daily routine, it stops feeling like a task and starts feeling like an environment. Listening daily, reading daily, and speaking daily train your brain to stay engaged naturally. Habits remove the need for motivation because they function automatically. This is how fluency builds beneath the surface. not through pressure, but through presence. Speak before you feel ready. Waiting to feel ready is one of the most common reasons people stay stuck, because readiness is not something you feel. It is something you earn through action. Many learners remain silent, believing that speaking too early will expose their weakness. But silence protects fear, not growth. Speaking early forces the brain to adapt, adjust, and improve faster than passive learning ever can. Mistakes are not proof of failure. They are proof of engagement. Every incorrect sentence gives your brain information about what needs correction. Silence gives no feedback, no direction, and no growth. When you allow yourself to speak imperfectly, you shift from avoiding mistakes to using them as tools. This mindset removes shame and replaces it with curiosity. Fear loses power when it is confronted repeatedly. Each time you speak and survive embarrassment or error, your brain learns that the danger was imagined. This realization weakens fear's influence. You stop tying your self-worth to perfection and start valuing communication instead. Expression becomes more important than accuracy. And fluency begins to grow from that freedom. Speaking before you feel ready builds mental resilience. You learn to function despite discomfort, which strengthens confidence over time. Each attempt sharpens awareness, improves structure, and reduces hesitation. Gradually, speaking stops feeling like a risk and starts feeling natural. Not because fear disappeared, but because courage became familiar. Think simple, speak simple. Many learners struggle not because English is difficult, but because they overcomplicate it in their minds. They try to sound advanced before mastering clarity, and this creates pressure, hesitation, and fear of mistakes. Simple thinking removes mental load and allows smoother expression. When your thoughts are simple, your speech flows more naturally. Simple sentences create strong foundations. When you repeat basic structures daily, your brain gains speed and confidence. Overthinking grammar slows communication, but simplicity speeds it up. You stop pausing excessively, stop translating word by word, and start expressing ideas more naturally. This ease is what people recognize as fluency. Simplicity reduces mistakes, and fewer mistakes reduce fear. Reduced fear encourages more speaking, and more speaking accelerates improvement. This cycle creates momentum that complexity never could. Confidence grows not from using big words, but from expressing ideas clearly and being understood without stress. Simplicity is not limitation, it is control. Skilled communicators often choose simple language because it is effective. As confidence grows, vocabulary expands naturally, but the foundation remains strong because it was built patiently. A strong foundation allows flexibility, clarity, and expression without mental strain. This zip line will do what motivation cannot. Motivation is emotional and unpredictable. Some days it appears strongly, other days it disappears completely. Discipline does not depend on emotion. It shows up quietly even when energy is low and enthusiasm is absent. Progress is built on what you do consistently, not on what you feel occasionally. Discipline understands that growth is repetitive and often boring. It does not chase excitement. It respects routine. When you practice English daily, regardless of mood, effort compounds silently. Results may not be visible immediately, but discipline continues building beneath the surface, strengthening skill over time. Through discipline, habits are formed. Habits remove resistance because they eliminate decision-making. When learning English becomes routine, it no longer feels heavy or optional. You stop negotiating with yourself and start showing up automatically, which preserves mental energy and consistency. Discipline builds self-trust. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, confidence strengthens internally. This confidence accelerates learning because belief supports effort. Over time, fluency stops feeling distant and starts feeling inevitable. Built quietly through repeated disciplined action. In the end, fluent English in 1 month is not a miracle. It is the result of alignment between decision, consistency, courage, simplicity, and discipline. When these 5 elements move together, progress becomes unavoidable. You stop seeing English as a barrier and start seeing it as a bridge between who you are now and who you are becoming. Every small effort you repeat daily strengthens not only your language skills, but your self-belief. And that belief quietly changes the way you walk, speak, and show up in the world. This journey is not about perfection, speed, or comparison. It is about commitment to yourself. 1 month of focused action can unlock confidence that stays with you for years. When you choose discipline over excuses and courage over fear, fluency becomes more than a skill. It becomes proof that growth is possible when you refuse to give up on yourself.